If you're a Demon Slayer fan, I'm pretty sure you've stayed awake at night wondering who'd come out on top in a crazy battle between Gyomei and Akaza. These two are like the top-tier characters. In this video, we'll explore what would happen if Gyomei Himejima, the Stone Hashira, replaced Kyojuro Rengoku during the Mugen Train arc, and ended up fighting Upper Rank 3 Akaza. As always, we'll base this analysis on manga canon, databook stats, and observable feats, avoiding headcanon or exaggeration. This is a straightforward breakdown of who would win, how they would fight, and how the outcome changes compared to the original timeline. Let's begin with physical strength. Gyomei is universally regarded as the strongest Hashira in terms of raw power. Both the official databooks and statements from other characters confirm this. He was able to fight Upper Moon 1, Kokushibo, while injured, and hold his own physically without being instantly overpowered. During his fight, he clashed weapons with Kokushibo multiple times, blocked strikes using only his body, and did not flinch under overwhelming pressure. By contrast, Akaza is physically formidable and has shown clear superiority over Rengoku in terms of physical strength. But even Akaza has never fought anyone on Gyomei's level physically until his final battle against Gyu and Tanjiro. And even then, he was deteriorating emotionally and spiritually. If Akaza tried to overpower Gyomei early in the fight, he would be surprised. Gyomei's strength is likely enough to not only withstand Akaza's strikes, but potentially counter with force that damages Akaza more than expected. Now let's consider weapon advantage. Unlike Rengoku's Nichirin katana, Gyomei uses a unique weapon, a flail and an axe connected by a long chain. This gives him multiple offensive and defensive capabilities at once. The chain allows him to manipulate range, strike from unexpected angles, and defend against high-speed attacks. It also allows Gyomei to create spacing between himself and his opponent, which is a crucial counter to Akaza's close-range fighting style. Akaza's technique, Destructive Death, is based on rapid, close-range martial arts infused with shockwaves. He is extremely effective when opponents are within his immediate striking radius. Against a traditional sword user like Rengoku, this works well. But against Gyomei, who can engage from medium to long range while controlling the space with a chain and flail, Akaza would be forced to change tactics. He'd need to close distance while avoiding getting struck by large, sweeping attacks. This dynamic gives Gyomei an immediate mechanical edge. Next, we'll evaluate Gyomei's sensory awareness. Despite being blind, Gyomei is one of the most perceptive fighters in the series. He uses sound, spatial awareness, and the vibrations of his chain to read enemy movement. During his fight with Kokushibo, he was able to react to invisible attacks and move in perfect coordination with multiple allies while under threat of death. His battle sense is refined and highly reliable. Akaza's special ability, the compass needle, reads an opponent's fighting spirit to predict their movements. This is one of his strongest tools. However, there is a key factor here. Gyomei's spirit is described as calm, centered, and without hatred. This potentially lowers the effectiveness of the compass needle, since it depends on detecting strong, directed fighting intent. While Akaza would still be able to perceive Gyomei, it's unclear if his predictions would be as accurate against someone so emotionally grounded. If Gyomei can fight while suppressing killing intent, similar to how Tanjiro uses the transparent world, he may confuse or at least delay Akaza's predictive abilities. That disruption could be critical in battle. Durability and stamina are also essential to consider. Rengoku displayed extreme durability, continuing to fight while fatally wounded, and even attempting to restrain Akaza long enough for the sun to rise. Gyomei, however, has shown that he can take significant damage and continue fighting without a decrease in performance. He sustained injuries in the Kokushibo battle and still managed to coordinate multi-phase attacks while leading two other Hashira. He also withstood the heavy mental pressure of the fight, which wore down other characters more quickly. Gyomei's durability is further reinforced by his physique. He's built for punishment. If Akaza attempts to wear him down, the process will take longer and require more effort than it did with Rengoku. This prolongs the fight, giving Gyomei more opportunities to land decisive blows. Now we examine intelligence and temperament. Gyomei is methodical. He doesn't rush in. He waits, observes, and adapts. He's not emotional during battle, and he doesn't let pride or provocation affect his judgment. This is in sharp contrast to Akaza, who becomes visibly frustrated when an opponent resists his ideology or survives longer than expected. When Akaza fought Rengoku, he began taunting him and offering him the chance to become a demon. If he tried the same tactics with Gyomei, it likely wouldn't work. Gyomei would not respond emotionally. He would not hesitate or allow himself to become distracted. This would likely frustrate Akaza further, leading to increasingly aggressive behavior, which Gyomei could exploit. At this point, we must address the most important problem in defeating Akaza, his regeneration. Even if Gyomei manages to decapitate Akaza, that alone won't kill him. Akaza possesses a technique called delayed death activation, which allows his body to continue fighting even after his head has been removed. This makes him incredibly difficult to kill without exploiting specific vulnerabilities or landing a series of perfectly timed attacks. Gyomei's strength, weapon and awareness make him one of the few Hashira who could land a decapitating blow, but the problem is whether he could land a second follow-up hit before Akaza fully regenerates or activates his delayed survival mechanism. Without help, that's uncertain. In addition, we must consider whether Gyomei would have access to his Demon Slayer mark or the Transparent World during the Mugen Train arc. If not, then his chances of killing Akaza drop significantly. If he does have access to the mark, then his speed, strength and perception increase dramatically, making a kill more likely. However, that version of Gyomei didn't appear until the Infinity Castle arc, so we cannot assume it was available at that time unless we're including minor timeline adjustments. So who wins? If Gyomei fights Akaza in the same circumstances as Rengoku, with no backup and no mark, he likely survives the battle but does not kill Akaza. His superior strength, range and discipline would allow him to withstand Akaza's assault for longer and potentially deal more damage than Rengoku did. However, Akaza's regeneration would prevent a clean kill. If Gyomei activates his mark and begins using the Transparent World, then the fight tilts further in his favor. In that case, he might be able to anticipate Akaza's moves while hiding his own intent, rendering the compass needle ineffective. A kill is still difficult, but now possible, especially if sunlight becomes a factor or if another Slayer arrives to assist. The most likely scenario is this. Gyomei survives the fight. Akaza is wounded more than he was by Rengoku. Realizing he cannot win easily, Akaza retreats before sunrise. Unlike Rengoku, Gyomei walks away from the battle, possibly injured but alive. In summary, Gyomei is one of the worst possible matchups for Akaza. His strength and reach are too high, his temperament is too stable, and his weapon is too unpredictable. The only thing Akaza has in his favor is regeneration and experience, but even that may not be enough. Who you think is more powerful? And if you liked this video, please give it a like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe for more anime content like this. If you'd like to see a breakdown of what would happen if Gyu or Muichiro fought Akaza instead, let me know in the comments. This is Shinobi of Konoha signing off. See you in the next video.